Hey guys, how's it going? The Confused Christian. And today I want to talk about how Jesus Christ came here, okay? To do away with all of his Father's commandments, give us two new commandments, and in the process, break the Deuteronomy 13 test. Not exactly, okay? But it's important that we talk about it. You see, after my last video, I'm in the Twilight Zone. Okay, if you haven't seen it really quick, the idea behind it was I went from cover to cover in the Bible. I yanked out verses, not just in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, but also in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, that I believe justify Torah. And the whole process took me only about 10-15 minutes because there are so many of these verses that say, hey, keep the commandments, make sure you follow the Torah, right? And it's found everywhere. For example, here's one of the verses that I gave, 1 John 5:3-4. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous, right? That's found in the New Testament. One of the last things that Jesus said to us in Revelation was, hey, I'm going to prepare a place for you. Make sure you keep my commandments. So these confuse me because they're found throughout the entire Bible, including in the New Testament, which is what the church today says. Hey, they take the New Testament and only the New Testament. They say the Torah is done away with and we just need to follow this. But I'm still seeing verses that say keep the commandments, do the commandments. You know, Jesus Christ kept the Torah perfectly, and he said to what? To walk like him, to do the things that he did, to do your best at walking in his footsteps. But today the church doesn't do it. So what is their angle? Okay. In the rebuttals that I'm getting, the most of them, the majority of them, are this, that, hey, Jason, you're half right. When you bring up verses in the Old Testament, okay, Tanakh, that talk about the commandments, yes, it's referring to the Torah, okay? But when you see verses in the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah, that bring up commandments, it's talking about Jesus' commandments, not the Torah. And this is the verses they use to justify that. Matthew 22:37-40. It reads, Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, okay? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And on these two commandments hangs everything, okay? All the Torah and all the prophets. So they say, you see, he came and he made it to this because he knows we can't keep all 613. You know, the Jews tried to do it. And everyone always says Jews. Understand something, because I'm always calling people say you're trying to be a Jew. It was not. There was 12 tribes at Mount Sinai. Okay, only one was the tribe of Judah. Okay, and the Bible clearly says that if you believe that Yeshua had died for you, guess what? You are now grafted in to what? Right? To become an Israelite yourself. So that's why I keep the Torah. But beside that, they take this verse here and they say here he's giving two commandments, and I would agree with them. Okay, clearly here. Jesus is saying that, hey, these are the first commandments, love God with all your heart. It's a great commandment. And the second one, love thy neighbor as thyself. There, everything hangs on that. Just do these. But is he really giving new commandments? Let me read something to you guys. It's found in Deuteronomy 6:5. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be on thine heart. Okay, that is Yahweh speaking. And he's giving what? The commandment that Yeshua just gave. So it's not new, the first one he gave. Let's read Leviticus 19:18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. There's the second one Yeshua gave. All right, guess where these two are found? These Deuteronomy and Leviticus, that's the Torah. Okay, the first 5 books. That's in his instructions. So Yeshua is not giving anything new. You guys, all he's doing is he's simplifying it. Look at the 10 Commandments. And the Hebrews or the Israelites didn't believe that the 10 Commandments that's all you followed, right? They followed the 613. And then, yes, it turned into more. The oral law came into play, right, which eventually turned to the Talmud. But that's another video for another time. But the point is, the 10 Commandments, they understood. If you look at them, the first 5 were for honoring and loving God. The second 5 were for honoring and loving thy neighbor. Now, you got to ask yourself, if God is telling you to do these things, love him with all your heart and love your neighbor as thyself, are there instructions on how to do it? And the answer is yes, 613 plus. That's why he gave it to us, okay? Yeshua here is smartly just reducing it. Yes, because we are bozos, guys. We saw that we couldn't keep it. He knows that. He's just trying to simplify it even more. He goes, listen, just remember, keep telling yourself every day, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Love thy neighbor as thyself. If you truly do these two things, right? Because you have the instructions on how to do it. If you truly do these two things, you will be fulfilling everything, all the Torah. because it's in there on how to love your neighbor. It's in there on how to love God. That's all he's doing. In my mind, you can just simplify it and just make one commandment, right? Love God with all your heart and with all your soul. If you do that, you're going to also love your neighbor because he asked you to. How many of you have kids, right? I'm sure you have house rules. You expect that your kids love you enough to follow those house rules, okay? This is the same concept. You know, I do not wear my tassels because I think they're an amazing fashion statement, okay? Or I love how on a windy day it picks them up and they flap around, okay? Or getting them stuck in a car door, or, you know, getting high fives all the time for how awesome they look, all right? Those are all great reasons to wear them, but they're not the reason that I do. The reason I wear my tassels is because I love God with all my heart and with all my soul. I will do whatever, all right, my Creator says. If in His Torah, it read that I'm supposed to go out every morning, okay, at 5 a.m. and do 20 jumping jacks, I'm going to do it because I love Him with all my heart and with all my soul. Okay, that's all Yeshua is doing here. I promise you, I just proved it's not new. Okay, so you guys, you have to come back with another angle. Okay, well, it's not new, but this is all it is now. But then I'm going to come back at you with this. If really Yeshua, it's not new, but he's saying this is all I care about you guys doing now, right? You'd have to first ask yourself, well, how do I truly love God? How do I love my neighbor? Are there instructions to go along with that? And also, are you, Yeshua, are you breaking the Deuteronomy 13 test? And for those of you that don't understand what that is, please go back and watch my video. I did a video on that a while ago. I think it does a great job to prove that there's no way Yeshua could have changed anything, okay? But also, I hit you up with a third thing. If we're just supposed to follow those two, why is Paul, and I know the church today trusts Paul, and I do too. I just think they're getting Paul wrong. But why is Paul saying there will be no homosexual, there will be no drunkard in the kingdom, right? And more than that. But he says that, but that doesn't make sense, because why can't you be a drunkard? I mean, why can't I just follow these two commandments and be a drunkard, you know? Why can't I be a homosexual and not enter the kingdom? I mean, I think that today the church, on how they look at the book, they have no right to tell a homosexual he cannot make it into the kingdom when they're the ones telling him that the entire law is done away with. You'll find that in the Torah, where God says that that's an abomination, okay? You will find you not to be a drunkard in the Torah. So how does the church today justify, you know, basically, if you really look at it, guys, and trust me, they want you to tithe, right? They say God says we have to tithe. Where do you think they got that from? That's not, you know, that's in the Torah. That's where it comes from. You know, they went through the Torah basically and they said, you know what, I'm going to take this one, I like this one, that one, get it out of here. Sabbath, I don't got time to give a whole day to God, put that out of the way, and all the way down the list. So I'd hit you back with that and saying, why is Paul saying this if there's just two commandments now? And they're not new. But, I mean, this is a great video. I love making videos like this because I think I don't have it right. I know that for a fact. And I'm going to say with confidence that nobody out there has this perfectly right. No one does. But that's why as a body we need to work together, okay, push away all these contradictions and get this thing right. Okay, it is that important. It's the most important thing I think that we can teach our kids and teach ourselves, right? We need to do this. We need to figure it out. And there are contradictions. Hence 33 or over 30,000 plus denominations. All right, new ones popping up every single day because people are seeing the Bible differently. That can't be right. We need to work together and use common sense, you know, go through this thing and figure it out. Well, here's an example. I'm going through it with you. I appreciate the feedback. You disagreed, all right, with this idea that, you know, that, hey, these are two new commandments. But here I'm giving you common sense, you know, reasoning. Go back and look at this. It can't be new. So what is it? You know, let's work together. Please email me at helpconfusedchristian@gmail.com, or, you know, go ahead and leave something down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, go out there and seek the truth with everything you got. All right, I'll catch you next time.